Elevation Nation. Happy Fortitude and 15 Thursday. Back like we never left. We got a great episode for you today.
Yeah, we do. What's up, Sammy?
Hey, Parker. How we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling extra elevated today. I don't know. My confidence level, for some reason, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the sun. Maybe it's the energy. Feeling good today. Feeling confident. Feeling
You look bright.
elevated.
You're glowing.
I'm glowing. I mean, maybe that's the ring light. No, maybe.
You look good, kid. You look good.
Well, we got to get you.
For our topic
we got to
today.
get you going. We got to get you going, dude.
I got the natural light glow. Nice and
The
white.
natural light glow. And so, Sam, topic of the conversation today comes at a perfect time. You know, Elevation Nation, I'll be completely transparent with you. Sam and I are in the midst of a rebrand. We want to take and shift things up a little bit because we want to elevate things. We want to make things better. We got to get new microphones. We got to get Sam a new camera. We got to get new ring lights. Maybe we'll get one of those cool podcast arms. We want to take Elevation Nation to the next level because there always is a next level. And that's what we wanted to talk about today. The idea that there always is a next level. And it's so funny because I'm also reading this book, which I highly recommend to you, Sam. 100%. I might just buy it for you now because I'm already like 50 pages in. I know you'll love it. It's written by Scott Galloway. Do you know who that is? Galloway, sorry. The professor.
I know who that is. I don't know who Scott Galladay is.
Scott Galloway, the professor from
Okay.
NYU Stern.
I do know
He
him.
wrote
Yeah.
a new book that came out a couple weeks ago called The Algebra of Wealth, a simple formula for financial security. Interesting topic, but he's so just straight up and the way he talks and writes. And he talked about this concept that there's always going to be more. And when does what you have become enough? He talks about that, you know, from a money standpoint. You make $1,000, you want 2,000. You make 150,000, you want 250. You make $1 million, you want 2. You have this car. Oh, I got this BMW. No, I'm gonna take it up another notch. I want the Porsche. Oh, you have the Porsche. I want to take it up a notch. And he talked about a specific example where there's this founder who's on a yacht. And he's looking actually at this yacht and he's like, wow, that's a beautiful boat. And then all of a sudden, another yacht pulls in and it's a nicer one. He's like, damn, that's the one I actually am my eyes gravitating towards. And he says that, man, the owner of that yacht must look at that really, really nice one that is much better than his and be like, damn, I need a new yacht. And he's like, it's a cycle. There's always more. So great topic of conversation for today, Sammy.
I love this topic. I think it's one that I struggle with a lot because I've worked very hard to try to, I guess, lower my expectations and be very content with what we have. I think, Parker, we all have had some events this past year that have really grounded us and brought us back down to earth and made us realize that the material goods, those items, the success, the fame, the fortune don't really last at the end of the day. And it's really about family. It's about love. It's about friends. It's about quality time, about health, and about happiness. And so I think we have these shake-up moments that make me go, well, I don't need things. I don't need that. I don't need this. I just want to be with Parker. I want to walk around the park and be with Parker. Or I want to go see my family down in Savannah and play some pickleball. Right? We have those events that shake us to our core, and then we come back down to earth and we try to be grounded and rooted. But at the end of the day, I now am trying to grapple with my balance between not wanting a lot, but also I enjoy some cool, maybe nicer things. My dream is to have a beautiful chef's knife collection and great knives and all the cool kitchen gadgets and tools, and to be able to run to Whole Foods and get all the cool foods that I want and make a delicious meal, and to go to Michelin star restaurants. And those are the experiences around food that, you know, or I'm really interested in, that I value. And so there's this constant back and forth in my mind that I've struggled with, which is there's always more that I could have or could want or could do that could make me happier. Is it bad that I want those experiences? Should I just be okay and be content with what I have now? How do you, Parker, personally, as someone who just got married, just went through a wedding where I'm sure there was always more in terms of a package you could get or more people to invite or fancier food you could have purchased? How did you balance the more with the being content with what you had?
I feel like this is such a challenge just as a modern day American face. We live in this commercialized instant gratification life and world where we can get anything at the drop of a hat, essentially, right? Maybe not a new car off the bat, but we have these credit card things that we could just buy things on and not think about it for 30 days. And then you're like, wait, oh crap. I don't know. I feel like famous quote from our famous guy, Rich Keller, once said to us, Sam, you can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. And that really grounded me. It really reminds me, I go back to that a lot, because what does it mean to have it all? That is for me to come up with, and that is for you to come up with. You know, the quintessential American might say, oh, I want a home, I want a family, I want kids, I want a car to drive, I want to go on a couple of vacations a year, right? And the part that I'm challenged with is that you do those and you get to that. But within that list of things I just gave to you, Sam, there is that next level. There's always that next level within that vacation. You want to upgrade the hotel. Within that car, you want to upgrade the car. Within that marriage, oh, we should buy this new house. We should have another child. We should go do this certain thing. There's always more that we, like humans, I feel like it's innate in who we are, that we always want that gratification through things that we're doing and or buying. And so I think it comes back to being mindful of being present and grateful of what you have in that moment. And to your point about material goods might make you happy in an instant moment. You go out to dinner, you spend a little bit more money, you get a really nice meal. You're gratified in that moment, but you're not gratified forever. You go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, you're like, wow, it was a great meal. It was a fun experience. What's the next thing to make me feel gratified? And so it's the things that you can't buy, essentially, that are the most important. And those are the people you spend your times with. And the experiences that you share with those people, whether they cost $1, $0, or $10,000. If you can find pleasure and joy in those small little things, man, that I feel like is going to help you not really go down that rabbit hole of like, I want that next thing. I want that next, because it's always going to be there. It's always there, dude.
It's a slippery slope. I love that quote from Rich. You can have it all, but you can't have it all at once. You know, it's a little bit contradictory to what we preach at Elevation Nation, which is always trying to get a little bit more, be a little bit better.
That's the hard part about it, though. Because if you want those things that are better, right, you got to do certain things to get better. And elevators,
can't you want those? Right? You can want those things that are better and strive to go a little bit higher while still being immensely grateful for the current level that you're at. I think of it like a ladder, right? We go back to my roots here with the concept of a ladder band. There's always another rung you can climb up. That doesn't mean that you aren't happy at the rung that you're at. You can be super grateful you made it to that rung of the ladder. But you can always be looking ahead to say, you know what, I could work a little bit harder. That could bring me a little bit more happiness. I think it's dangerous. I think it's a slippery slope. But I unfortunately think it's just very common in today's America, unless we're going to go be kind of in this hippie mindset and go live with nothing and be a surfer. A lot of people in Europe and in South America do have that life where there's not necessarily a next best thing. Life. Yeah. Not necessarily a next best thing, but just life right now. And I don't know if, I think it's a beautiful way to live. I don't know if I could ever trick my mind into thinking that was how I could live.
Yeah, because your values come in, I think, I mean, when we get really deep here, you attribute success and probably part of your self-worth to the impact that you're making in the world, whether it's the job that you're working at, the title that you have, the amount of money that you're making, the people and experiences that you have. And that's very normal among all people. But there are people who be like, I don't give a shit about my job. I'll show up 9 to 5 and make $25 an hour, and they're cool with that. They don't care about, oh, I want to go get that another degree or get that extra podcast recorded because I want to go surfing. And they got a family and they're happy with the way they live their life. But I still think the idea of this episode still comes back. There is always more, because that surfer still wants to hit that next wave because the wave before wasn't good enough. And it's a continuous cycle no matter what experience that you're in.
It's a tough topic. I'm glad we talked about it. It's deep. It's hard to navigate. But I think getting older, you realize what things are worth trying to get an elevated version of and what things you can be content with right now. And so that's the balance that we're all after. And hopefully we elevate you in the right ways at Elevation Nation and remind you to be grateful in the right ways as well. Elevator shoutouts for the week. Elevator 140, Juwan Farah. I know Parker is going to give him a shout out too, so I'm going to say it on behalf of both of us. We had the opportunity to go on Juwan's podcast, and truly a great opportunity. It's called the Unstructured Pod with his partner there. We had a fun conversation. It was chaotic. It was sporadic. We talked about a bunch of random stuff, but it was fun to get outside our comfort zone and be a little bit less rigid. So, Unstructured Pod, fellas, thank you for having us. That was a pleasure.
It was definitely unstructured.
But we loved it.
I mean, they have their mission. How can we make this podcast as unstructured as possible and not know what the hell is happening at times? But it was fun. It was like rapid fire. It was like boom, boom, boom. It's a lot of energy, a lot of fun. Made me feel young again,
Old?
Sam.
Oh, I was about to say. We're washed up.
Oh, no,
we don't
no.
have that
the
energy.
fact that I just said made me feel young again just aged myself even more, to your point. Like, man, I remember graduating college, real world coming right in front of you. Not saying Juwan and, his co-founder are going to go through the same struggles or experience as us. But, man, they're just getting started. So, Juwan, if you're listening, you got to keep going. You got to keep putting out more content, more episodes. You got to put one step forward if you truly believe in this thing, because, that's the only way to go about it, man, especially in the podcast industry.
Elevation Nation. Until next week. Peace.